This is us.
This is us going live. And we are live on Facebook. Oh, my God. Hasn't this been a challenge, Wendy? Oh, my stars. Someone's trying to bloody stop us getting on, but we're way too powerful for them. They don't have a choice.
Oh.
Welcome, Wendy Parker. How are you?
Oh, I'm really well. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Yeah. And look at us. We're not going to be beaten down by those cheeky little sods.
No, they have made their presence felt. Definitely. Oh, it's been a mission, but we're here.
We are, and I want to say thank you so much for your patience. Wendy and I have been trying to work this problem out since 1:45. So it's not through trying, but it's certainly through persistence that we are here right now. So a huge welcome, Wendy, and thank you for joining us on the couch. It's so awesome to have you here chatting with us today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sharon Schmidt, Director of Intuitive Souls. My passion is empowering others through intuition, empathy, kindness, hugs, and fun. I do this across the globe by supporting empowering others to connect with their inner knowingness and embracing what's most important to you in your life. So a huge welcome to Wendy Parker. Woohoo! How are you?
I'm really, it's a perfect day. Everything is just as it should be. If we weren't meant to go earlier, this is exactly the perfect time. So it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
No, and I'm so grateful. As I said, we had all these problems, but we are fine. And you're exactly right. It is exactly how it's supposed to be. And Wendy and I both are very spiritual women. So for us, it was just like, yeah, we'll get it when it happens and it's all good. So just to give you a bit of an update on Wendy, she is a Heal Your Life coach, teen empowerment workshop facilitator. She's licensed by Hay House and authorised by Hay House. And that's where Wendy and I met. And we just aligned our energy straight away. She's also a doTERRA wellness advocate, an ambassador of wellbeing, and she's affiliated with the International Institute of Complementary Therapies. This lady has got so many things behind her. It's unbelievable. But most importantly, she just has a passion for health and using nature's gifts. And I tell you what, I've seen this lady. We went to our training, and this lady showed up. She had everything from her yogi mat to her doTERRA oils and her and look at me saying that, and I'm a young living. But it just goes to show it doesn't matter where we come from or what we do. We we still connect. But Wendy she's got certifications in aroma touch technique. She's an internationally licensed angel intuitive. She's run red tent women's circles. She's a Lomi massage therapist. She's a Reiki master. She's a yoga teacher. Oh my God. And she's an avid health educator. Wendy really is, she's a one-stop shop, but her mission, I love her mission. She is about healing the planet one person at a time, one family at a time, and one home at a time. She wants to revolutionise healthcare for everybody. Wowee, Wendy, my God, that is awesome. And in your words, can you just tell us what all that really means straight from you? That's amazing. You've got amazing skills and techniques there, but give us it in your words.
Thank you. Look, it's been a process of many years of education, and I firmly believe that we just need to be who we are on this planet and access nature's gifts and the traditional modalities to be able to get us on our way home. And that is to a place of inner peace. And we've had lots of chats in the past, and I just firmly believe in empowering the person. I predominantly work with women, of course, but it's about guiding them, partnering with them on their journey, and giving them the tools. We don't need to mask with anything else other than nature. And when we can, sink into some yoga poses, and we can partner that with some really beautiful oils, and you know, we can look at the elements of crystals to be able to help us sink more into who we are, and to live an abundant, peaceful life full of joy, and return to love within ourselves, you know. And that's my mission. Is I certainly do believe that we have gone through the years where there's been a lot of disconnect. A lot of people may have felt, and you know, clients of mine have felt that they have lost their way, lost themselves, whether that's the busy life or whether it's the needing to have the materialistic things. But at the end of the day, it is about, you know, when you strip all of that away, you've got to be happy with what's left.
That's absolutely spot on, isn't it? You have to love yourself before you can start anywhere else. That's where your journey begins, is with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, loving your soul, loving that, you know, we've got this temple that we're walking around in now, and it's learning that self-love on how we treat people, you know, with what we put in it, how we move it, you know, what we seek to make it the best that it can be. And, you know, for me, I just believe that we have to look at, I believe holistic healthcare is the kindest form of healthcare on the planet, you know, whether it be doTERRA oils, whether it be yoga, whether it be Reiki, whether it be, you know, that we choose to be vegetarian or vegan, or, you know, whatever that is, but make sure that we're not just reaching for a magic pill that's another mask, and that's all they are.
I totally agree with you. I absolutely do. And we both know, not just through Louise's work, but through our own spiritual work, both taught and channeled, because we both channel our own work as well. We both know the importance of trusting in the universe to actually heal ourselves, to be able to heal. You know, no one can do that for you. A doctor, as you said, can give you a mask, and I certainly agree with modern medicine. Absolutely, I would never say take that away.
No.
But you know, we have such a power. We're powerhouses.
Absolutely, we are. We're given everything within our own body. You know, that inner knowing is even there. You know, but we just we lose that because of our programming.
Yes. And both of us, we were both chatting about this, you know, Wendy and I have been able to have a great old yarn today because, you know, for the last couple of hours, we've been trying to get here live on Facebook. And yeah, look, there's so much. We're all in different directions, but really we're all going in the same place. We're all going to the same place. That's the beautiful part about it. I've just got Annie from Bangkok has said, hello, Sharon and Wendy, love to you both, from Annie. So,
oh, Annie, beautiful.
Because I know you can't see a lot of the, you know, the joy about Facebook coming through Zoom onto Facebook is that you can't see all of those comments. So I will keep you updated with those as they come in, Wendy. But your passion, and I think that was what really aligned me to you when I first met you, was that you're so passionate about this work. And given that I am as well, we really aligned in that space. It was like, it was so easy it just fell into place. We just were able to work together. You know, we were sent off in a group together, and it was just so easy to align our values because they were already aligned, even though we didn't even know it. So with that, tell me what it means to you when you're getting in the zone, because you work with clients on all different levels. So maybe before you even talk about that, what sort of clients do you work with, and how do you know when you're in the zone with them?
You know, look, I predominantly work with women though, and you know, in that age group of sort of mid-40s is, yeah. You know, but I have absolutely beautiful clients that are in the 30s. I have, you know, women that are in their 30s. I have clients of women that are in their mid-60s. I have men. And I just believe that there in the spirit world, there is no gender and there is no age. No, it's just soul connections, and that's how I look at it. So when I know I'm in the zone is all about, it's you're channeling, you're feeling, and I guess that's what changes the world. How I work with people is, I've had so many of my people say, you know me better than I know myself, and it's not, that's not the case. It's that sometimes they're not prepared to look at the truth, and that's my highest value. I will never ever, that's something that has been, when you go through all of the learnings and they say, what is your highest value? Highest value is truth of self, truth of others, truth of how we live. And, when you work with someone, I want them to get the very best out. And so I can't not be truthful. So when I feel that there's a lot behind what they're saying, that's more than what they're saying, I don't hesitate to be real and not call them on it, but expose them to the fact that, there are no judgments, there are no wrong things. Everything that has come across us has come across for a reason, for our own personal growth. And so it's just a lesson. And if we look at it as just a lesson, then you take all the emotional baggage away from that. And to work in the zone is really about delivering for that person, watching them grow before your eyes, to grasp that self-love, that return to self. That connection is so strong that you don't just end up with a client, you end up with a long-term friend.
And yes, that's like me. You can't work with someone on that level and not create a friendship. And I think that's the great thing about our work, isn't it? Is that we do work so closely with someone that we get right into the depth of where they are and where they're going, and it's about pulling them back out to trust themselves, most importantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's and I, as I said, I know how passionate you are, and I know how you've changed many lives, because you, like me, we both came from the corporate world. We both came from the corporate world of which we're both very grateful for. We've often talked about that, how much gratitude we have for. I know that I couldn't be doing what I'm doing without the skills that I got in the corporate world. But seriously, I loved that work for a while, but then it paid the bills. That's all I can say, is it paid the bills in the end. And even in the end, paying the bills wasn't enough for me to be there. I had to go out and be true to myself and be authentic. And that's why I think also we resonated so much, is because you yourself, were an executive in the corporate world, but the whole way through you were traveling this journey, weren't you?
Absolutely. And to get into, I've had a vast experience in all different types of industries. But it was the universe. It was spirit that guided or had me go into that role that I was in. And I was in there for a very good reason. The times that we're put into situations, like, when I got this job, and my corporate job, the last one, I didn't apply for that job, but it came on a phone that I had never published the phone number, from a guy who said he had my resume that I'd never sent to him, for me to walk in and see someone that I used to work closely with approximately 5 years beforehand. That when I got there and started to do my work, it was about the experience. It was still, I was so very grateful for that gift, and for everything, everything that happened within that time, everything that happened when I transitioned out of that. There's been no bad experiences. Everything has been a lesson. It's been a gift from the universe, that's where I needed to go. That's what I needed to do next. That's what I needed to learn. Or that's who I needed to meet. People are put across your path, and you have to be put into the situation to cross that person's path. You and I, for instance, and it is about pardon me, when you walk into those situations, you know, because you feel that you have known that person before.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's why those people connect. That's why they gel.
Yeah, totally. And I guess trust, as we were talking about this before offline, how we have to just absolutely trust that we are in the right place at the right time. And we have to just believe that everything that's around us is because it is.
Because it's meant to be.
Yes. And as you said, we come across each other's paths because we're meant to have that experience in our life.
Yes, absolutely we are. You know, and it's for the growth. When you cross the path with somebody else, and whether it be me with a client, or whether it be me with, one of my team members in my doTERRA team, or whether it's me just in my general community, I'm having a tickle in my throat.
That's okay.
It is because there is a reason we are to learn off each other.
Yes.
There is a trading, an exchange of a gift. I class it as a silver box, from me to that person, from that person to me, because there is no one-sided affair. It's never a one-sided affair.
No, absolutely not. And I'm a lover of Abraham and Esther Hicks and Jerry. So very much, we create a lot of this even though we don't really know what it's about. But we will attract so much into our life. And as you and I both know, the importance of being careful what comes out of your mouth, what you're thinking, how you're reacting, how you're behaving, because that's what you're attracting back. And I quite often say to people during this COVID-19, is this the way you want to look back on this? Is this how you want to remember that time?
Exactly. We have been gifted something so very special, and I've said it right from the start. I've written blogs on it. I just truly believe that we are at a point in history, despite all the negative stuff that's going on out there, but we are at a point in history, never before has the world stopped.
No.
Where Mother Nature can heal, we as humans can heal, relationships can heal, the existence of certain animals on the planet can heal. That's just something that's happened that, we need to be journaling this time, because this time in history right now, we want for our children's children and their children to know about this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodness, not for the badness, for the goodness,
Yeah.
Like I've said before, this has put us back as a family. This is like us 25 years ago, before we came to the city. The appreciation for each other, the state of the family unit, the ability, we always have sat down and had meals together. That's never changed. But as they become adult children, they move out into the world and go and do their own things. Well, this has been a time of everyone gathering back in and forging ahead with a stronger bond, adult to adult.
Absolutely. And it's as much as it's 25 years backwards, it's 25 years forwards, where you can now appreciate them as adults, which is wonderful. And I'm finding the same, like where many people, how many people at the moment are with families that they've not had this much time with, and in some cases at all ever.
Exactly. I've been speaking to a group, and a couple of the mums, they had their children. They work in a corporate job. They had their children. Before the child was born, they were already booked into daycare and then into school. And then everything was just a path that was kind of predefined. This is what you had to do. And all of a sudden, they're at home, they're homeschooling them. They're having this time with these kids 24/7. And, for a couple of them, they've really scratched their head and gone, is this, I'm really struggling with this. And like I've said, this is where right now you get to define how much of a privilege it is for you to have children, because these are times of something so special.
Absolutely. I was one of those mums, Wendy. I was a mum that, you know, my eldest daughter was in care at 4 weeks old. My youngest daughter was 6 weeks early and she was in care at 5 weeks. So she was in care before she was even due to be born.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that my girls have grown up to be very level-headed women, very successful in their own rights. And thank goodness we're really close as a family. But that could have absolutely went another way. And I do feel a bit sorry for those parents that are home 24/7 and it's not something they're used to, because my work for me was about me time. That was, as much as it was about, you know, helping build our family and bring an income, that was my time as well, whereas they're not getting that now.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it will be bringing up a whole host of emotions for them. And that's where you and I come in. You know, it's having that someone, everyone needs a coach. I don't care who you are. You need to have that one person who is your confidant, who can help you with tools to be able to move past what might be little speed bumps on your journey. And so even though it's bringing up all those emotions, it's about working through those emotions to, you know, that the universe has brought this about so that you can grow. Imagine that you are the oak tree. You know, this is about making sure that you've pruned it, you've taken off those dead, you know, the dead wood, and you've given it sufficient sunlight and water and nurtured it, and so that, you know, it is that big old oak tree that is healthy and in all aspects. And we have to have a look at, you know, that part of our lives where it's not just the physical being, it's got to be the emotional, the spiritual, the financial, the mental, as well as the physical. So yes, I do feel for those people, and there's no judgment about whether they're feeling like they're not coping or whatever. It's about embracing those feelings, having a look at where they stem from, because quite often, you know, I did my professional counselling in 2000, and one of the things was, you know, we've got a cabinet of emotions in there that's been written from 0 to 12 years old. So whatever we experience from the age of 12 onwards, whatever event there is or situation we encounter, or, you know, conflict or whatever, our in here goes back to those files, and well, that feels like that's the reaction I'll have. So it's about disassociating or changing the way that we react, and letting those files be, because sometimes they're just not, you know, no longer needed. So yeah, you know, it's helping those people to work through and come out the other side with, you know, way more beautiful relationships.
And I think that's a big thing, as you mentioned, Wendy, letting those files go that no longer serve us. And we were talking about that as well, about the, you know, the Akashic records, which, you know, we won't go into here because that's a whole new thing within itself. But letting go, because as you know, we so go back to stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. And we just keep dragging it up. We keep going back to that place, even though many times other things that have been much better for us have come forward from that. We continue to keep going back to that particular time frame, which is why we both work in the inner child. And the inner child work, as we know, is fabulous, whether it's Louise Hay work, as because both of us are coaches, not just Louise Hay coaches, but we're also other coaches as well. And I'm a counsellor, and I've been mentoring for, and as I know you have, for as long as we probably have been old enough to mentor. But, you know, it's constantly just showing people a different way of seeing things, just showing people a different way of reacting and acting and taking responsibility for that.
Absolutely. And, you know, the way that we've got to recognise is that we've got two choices when anything comes our way, and that's to react, which is quite often involuntary, or we can respond. And respond is usually the way that we bring up those compassion and love, and it is a different way, and again, inner strength, because sometimes that response is going to be that we define boundaries, and that we do what's right for within ourselves. So I just think that now more than ever is a time for us to be able to give to give to others the gift that we have got in being able to make sense of those, help people understand exactly what's going on, and let them reconnect with themselves, because at the end of the day, they know all of this deep inside, but it's helping them just to move the muck away and allow that to be where they go for their inner guidance.
Oh, totally. And I have a lot of people say to me, you healed me, Sharon, you changed me. And I say, I don't heal anybody.
No.
I actually give you some tools, and it's your choice whether you make those changes. I can't do this for you. Same as I can't, for myself, I can make my changes, but the limit stops there. I can show you the tools that I use, and if you choose to use them, you'll get the results that I did. And if you don't, well, you'll be, what is that? What do they say? Same shit in, same shit out. Basically, that's
Absolutely.
how it works, isn't it?
Yeah. The one thing that we all have, and that's free will, and the universe, we can ask for help, we can ask the universe for help, we can do all of that. But at the end of the day, we are sometimes shown exactly what we need to do. But free will says, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't feel right. I don't believe in that. When in actual fact, we need to sort of move our conscious mind out of the way and get rid of the ego and have a really good look at what's going on, go, okay, I'll give that a go.
And how many times have we been slapped in the face with a cold fish, as an expression that I use, and we still keep walking past it, and then we keep trying to figure out why this shit still keeps happening to us. It's like, come on, Sharon, they're trying to show you something here. And you just become your ego gets in the way, or your ignorance gets in the way, or you just simply are not vibrating at a level high enough to be able to tune into yourself.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to mention, Alexa Wright Moore has said, this is a wonderful conversation to listen to today, ladies. Thank you for sharing your insights and paying it forward.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alexis.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really lovely comment that I wanted to share with you, Wendy. Because it is. I mean, the work we do, we have so much gratitude, don't we, for our work that we do? Like, how lucky are we?
Absolutely. There is not one day that there is, that it's not something that I do, is the gratitude thing. It's the fastest way to get into the love feeling is through gratitude. When you might be having someone's thrown you a ball, but you can be grateful, because at the end of the day, you still, I said to you, my first three things that I do in the morning is, I am grateful for my bed for the restful sleep. I'm grateful for my eyes that I can witness the day, and I'm grateful for my feet that will take me to the loo. And
I love that. I love it.
It is, because when you lose gratitude, you soon get into a bit of a itty bitty shitty committee takes hold of your day, and then everything for the whole day will be with that kind of mindset.
I totally agree. I know a lot of people don't agree with setting intentions for the day, but it's a must for me. It absolutely is a must. I can find if I don't set that intention for the day, you might end up having a crappy day, and I don't want that. I'm not even going back there. I've been there a long time, and I've now been a long time this way. So when you get in this space, when you raise your vibration, when you have gratitude, when you do affirmations, when you meditate, there is no going back. There absolutely is no going back.
No, there isn't. And, when you do have, you set your intentions for the day and something comes up, you need to make sure that you journal it. You have to put energy behind taking the rubbish out from between your ears. You'll do it for your kitchen, so why not do it between here? And, none of us the absolutely perfect life. And anyone who tells you they've got a perfect life, they are full of bullshit. I'm sorry, because there is no perfect life. There is a life that is meant for you to grow and to experience for your greater good, the growth that you're here to experience in this carnation. You know, it's not perfect is an illusion. And I always claim to be perfectly imperfect, because that's me. I screw up, I get up, you turn things around, I beat up on yourself, learn to forgive, and make it a priority, be grateful for the lesson.
And I think probably one of the things that I've found, where one of the big changes that I've had most with the shift throughout the years I've been working with the spiritual realm, is me now taking personal responsibility. Hey, I don't do it all. I still stuff up, but most of the time I take personal responsibility, because it actually isn't a problem to do that. I'm happy to admit that I just had a sand shoe blowout. Yeah. That I just stuffed up.
And everyone does. Like I said, it's, no one's got the perfect life. And we have to acknowledge that things are going to come our way that are really going to test us. Who thought that 2020 was going to give us all of this so far? I have a look at what's, in my journal, what's happened between the 1st of the 1st and the 5th of the 5th, and I go, pardon me, I would never have thought that I could be tossed so many, I'm a shit hot baseball player because I've been thrown some curly ones, but I've caught it, I've learnt from it, and I've set it down.
Yeah, good on you.
No damage. Look, I'm all whole.
And look, we will get that, but I think the really important thing is actually, how do we react to that? And I say this to people all the time when I work with people, when I'm doing working with people when they're just dealing with a lot of grief. One of the big things I say to them all the time is, regardless, like if you've lost a loved one, you'd be feeling this shitty if you didn't love them. So focus back on that. Focus on the fact that that was amazingly wonderful, that you now feel this shit and feel so sad. But you then also get to a stage where you've got to let it go as well, because you've got to go back, and I tell them all the time, get into those memory records, pull out that stuff that you have spent all your time creating all these amazing memories, and reattach yourself to them, because you created those not to be forgotten. It's a bit like these days, we take photos, we take reams of photos on our digital cameras. Do we still go back and look at them? At least we used to go and have a look at the photo albums every now and then.
That's exactly right. Too true. And, when there are things that come our way, whether it be, grief and loss or conflict or whatever it is that comes our way, and it does, to the best of us, like to everybody, have a look at the emotions that it brings up and the release of those emotions and how you feel afterwards. Do you think that maybe it was required for you to, I always look at this as being like a staircase, and for you to walk up another couple of stairs, you've got to have grown to be able to walk there. You've got to let more baggage go to be able to walk up there. And and then you can turn around and put your hand down to, whether it be in relationships or whatever, to offer a hand for those that want to come up. But you've got to let that stuff go and realise that you're not going to let that stuff go unless things come across your path for you to be able to release and learn and to grow.
And that's probably a really important thing. You have to actually acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge the fact, I'll use it again, grief. Acknowledge the fact that you've lost somebody that was so precious to you. Acknowledge that. I'm not saying that for a second. You really need to acknowledge that and say, this is, really hurts me. But the problem starts and we get anxiety and depression from when, if we don't let that go, when we actually keep that, and we're not being true to ourselves or the loved one that we've actually lost, which is really sad.
That's exactly right. It was like, I lost my mum.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I could have, I had a number of people around the same time lose their parents as well. And I just couldn't stay in that lower emotion. You have to work through it. And yes, I was extremely sad, and yes, there were things that came up that needed to be resolved. But at the end of the day, I can look back with gratitude on the life that I had with her, and the fact that she has moved on into first class. I don't, that's me. We're in economy. They're in first class. They're still here. They're just in first class, but we can't see. But she's in first class with the ones that she loved more dearly, my dad and her mum. And, that's the way that they never leave you. No. It's just a matter of acknowledging that that's the process is gone. And we miss them in the physical, yes, we do. But
of course,
know that they're still there in the spiritual is, and there's quite often we'll be sitting at the table and next minute, we'll be talking about her, and it's just like, oh, okay. She's just letting us know that she's here.
Yes, and I love that. I love that the way spirit, and I, and you like me, we connect into spirit all the time. And it's so awesome. And I say to people all the time, they are so much closer now, and they're able to help you so much more than even possibly they could here on the earth plane. They're able to give you so much more guidance. If you keep when you're grieving and your vibration's low, you can't connect with them because you can't see beyond your own grief. But once you move out of that and you're back up and you're vibrating, I connect with my dad all the time, all my loved ones. I connect with them all the time. They play huge roles in my life every single day of, they help me do this work. That's why I do it, is because I have to be honest. I don't think I could imagine having life without my spirit connection.
No, God, no. It's been something that I closed off at a young age for a bit over a decade. And I'm really pleased that I had the courage then to embrace it again, and I can't imagine not having it now. I just can't. And it wasn't until Mum was in hospital, and I used to always, she knew that I was into this stuff. Are you there?
Yeah, I was going to say, where have you gone, Wendy?
Battery's starting to, looks like it's
Do you need to grab a charger, because I can do some cards for people?
Yeah, would that be good?
Absolutely, not a problem. I'll do some cards while Wendy's getting a charger. Thank you. While I'll give you something to think about, Vicky actually has here, we've all been tested in 2020, but we are all going to come out of this stronger. And absolutely we are, Vicky. Coming out of this is going to change us all forever. And however we allow that change to happen is totally going to be up to us. You've also said, I'll wait till Wendy comes back for that. Okay, so if you'd like a card, how about we just do collective cards? I think I'll do 4 cards for people, and you can just choose from those cards which one you like. I think that's probably the easiest way, and that way Wendy doesn't have to feel like she's got a rush. Okay, the first card I've pulled is make a plan. There you go. So we were talking about 2020. So make a plan. But one thing I must say about that is I'm always about, don't make too big of a plan. When you make these plans that you don't allow to come to fruition, or you, for some reason, a third person doesn't make your plan come the way you want it, well, you often will then throw the whole lot away. So making a plan is really important, but making a plan that's going to stick with you and Spirit keep telling me, just don't make it too rigid. Just don't make it too rigid. Make your plan that's going to be suitable to you. So here is a great opportunity for 2020 to make those changes in your life that you want to make. One of the funny things that we were talking about recently, and I've been talking about this most days with people, is that here is the opportunity. If you've been in that job and you're bloody hated it and you're trudging off to work every single day and now you're working from home, here is a perfect opportunity for you to look at options. What are your options? Is this an option to go and do something different? Or now do you need to start putting out there to the universe that you can start working from home? So, you know, be creative and create that plan around that, but don't make it too rigid. And we'll do the other two cards later because Wendy's back, so we'll move back into that. Now, we have, Vicky made a comment here, Wendy, about all being tested in 2020, but we're all coming out of this stronger. But she also says, I love your analogy of where our loved ones are that are passed over. So I think that was, thank you for that. That, you know, would certainly resonate with a lot of people out there.
Yeah, yep. And that card, you know, and where we are with this whole thing now is this is giving us the opportunity. Like it's had us stop almost everything. So when we start up again, you have a choice to go within and see what it is that you want to keep in your life or not keep in your life. My beautiful boy's just decided he wants to come and join us.
It's okay.
Yeah, so, you know.
Is it a puppy dog or a cat?
Dog. A big dog. Yeah, you know, we have a choice now of we want to take everything that we were doing before into this new part because it is a newness. We are having a rebirth of sorts. And there's a lot of stuff that we don't have to take forward. You know, and, you know, Reason, Season, Lifetime, you would have probably seen that over this time, people may have drifted out of your world, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be filled with conflict. It's just now the newness, the energy, the way people, you know, that everything's working out is that when we move forward, and you don't have to fight for those things. When you fight for something, it's filled with negativity. And so it's about just coming from that loving space and allowing people to, you know, allowing your attraction to, you know, it's like, you know, animals and it's allowing action thing to happen. You know, it's just a natural course, isn't it? Where we as humans, we just seem to fight all of that and just we want to fight for having something in our world, or we want to fight for getting rid of something. So we need to allow, and it's the allowing. Don't put the negative energy in. Negative energy pushes things away. We want to, you know, beckon it in. We want to make that our energy is such that it's attracting things. And you know, in that, you know, buy something into the house, something out. Because otherwise, you have a vision of your house. The more stuff you bring in, the walls are all bulging and the windows are bulged like plastic. Whereas if you can know that that's the same life, you get to cut away things now. And your life was so full, and you made all of this stuff to keep you busy because you didn't confront something, or there was something you were running away from, or, you know, time now is all.
You keep dropping out a little bit, Wendy. Yeah, it's the joy of it, don't you, love? Now, the technology's fabulous. But you're absolutely right. And as we were chatting before, is that this has actually allowed a lot of people to realise what they didn't think they wanted. And an example of is Easter. those people that didn't want to be with their families at Easter have now gone, oh, actually, maybe being with my family wasn't so bad. I actually miss them. And so it's allowed us to realign our values and our thoughts.
Taking us right back to gratitude, right back to being that family that we didn't necessarily want to see, to now when it was taken away from us, we've gone, I want to see those people. I love those people. I want them in my world. So it's back to that gratitude again, gratitude and love.
Oh, gratitude. Can't be without it. And I mean, funny enough, I must say that I'm so grateful I get to hang out every day in my place. And I do miss the hands-on with my clients, but I'm loving the fact that I can Zoom them when Zoom works, and no fault of Zoom, but our technology and my bandwidth. I mean, the fact that I can connect with you, we weren't able to do, we didn't really do this before. We could have, but we probably didn't think about it. But no. COVID-19, thank you very much, has, allowed me to chat to all these beautiful souls on the couch.
It's actually like a finger. It's just prodded us to do the things that we have needed to do, have wanted to do, have put off doing. Yeah. It's just like that little prod.
Yeah. And I know with my online stuff, my women's circles, my meditation, I have, meditations every week, meditations once a month. I've been saying for 2 years, I'm going to get them online. I'm going to get them online. I'm going to get them online. And well, now I didn't have a choice.
That's what's next for me, is I've time to write my own signature, and it's about taking that online, and that whole being able to, I'm a hugger, but when we can't hug a person, go and hug a tree because you're getting the same kind of energy. I will be hugging trees tonight. I will be out tonight on the eve of the full moon, doing my usual practices of releasing and candles and crystals and smudging and all the bits and bobs. But it is about that. And I do miss the hugs, but being able to give the underlying essence of who I am, what I believe in, and what I know to be true in my heart that works, to be able to put that into a course that people can access online and still have access to me is, through Zoom, is going to, and, the perfect creation from what we've gone through. I think we're stuck, or am I stuck?
So many of my clients actually, they're Darwin, Queensland, out west, country west, and they're all across the country. And so for me, this hasn't really affected me that much, because I probably have a lot less face-to-face clients than what I do. We used to just connect over the phone or, Messenger or whatever technology worked best for the client. And so for me, that's not really been an issue. But the workshop stuff has. The retreats are my killer. I was meant to have a retreat in May. So that was like, oh, no. But I'm okay with that, because it'll just come back bigger and better.
Absolutely.
And Vicky says here, it's made us think outside the square. It absolutely has.
Yep. Of course, it has. And it's been, I see so much negativity about it. But you know what? It's been absolutely perfect. Every day is perfect. It is. It's for our own, if we get rid of all of the outside stuff and just look, for what is for us on a daily basis, and the power is in the present moment. So every day, every moment of every day is absolutely perfect, and you make it so.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. But again, it comes back to that, I'm in control how I react to certain situations, and look, there's times, I might bang my I've stubbed my toe. That's a really good example. And I'm swearing and cursing. But now, these days, it's more like, ow, yeah, that bloody hurt. Thank you very much for that. And you try and move on because you don't want your energy to drop. Whereas people that knew me before would know how much of a firecracker I was.
Yeah.
And this work really has changed my life. And I'm talking all of this work, not just, it's everything. It's a combination of all of the spiritual work I do.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I had a conversation about this the other day. Fell off popped out when I was pushing a stroller in a library in a country 34 years ago. She was the founder, or she is the founder of this work, and there are great teachers that are still are around us, are still coming through. But I think the essence of her work and the work of, and I have 3 key mentors, and that is Louise, Wayne Dyer, and Deepak Chopra. And I just absolutely love that it doesn't matter what in my life, I can always fall back into a lesson from them, either one of them, because there's always something key that's, if I've hit an obstacle, Wayne Dyer says it, spirit solution for every problem. And I, when things are a little bit like chaotic, there's nothing other than putting on one of his meditations, because his voice is so calming and soothing. When there's something that you might be really, something's happened and you're down on yourself, there's nothing nicer than picking up a card of Louise's to remind you of love is all that really matters. Who we are. Doesn't matter about all the other stuff outside, but it's about, who we are, and that we're honouring ourselves.
And we're pretty much guaranteed when you do pick a card like that, it always is the right one that we need right at that time, isn't it?
No coincidences.
No, I totally agree. Whereas, and I'm the same as you, I absolutely love the 3 of those. So Louise, Wayne and Deepak. I actually went to a psychic in November last year, and she actually told me that I channel a lot of Wayne's work, which was very interesting. I was a bit shocked about that. But anyway, I'm happy to channel Wayne. But I also love Esther Hicks, and I have to say I listen to Esther's rampages pretty much every single day. When I was working when I was working as well as working in my business, I was every single day. The minute I get in the car though now and I'm by myself, the first thing that goes on is Esther and Abraham, and Jerry, of course, because that I can be guaranteed that stuff, her rampages just lift me. Even if I'm just feeling a little bit flat, they will just ignite my energy just full pelt. And I think that's really important, that you actually have those people that you can just, those go-to people, as you say, you go and pop on a meditation from Wayne or just listen to him speak, same as Louise or Deepak, even Oprah, but whoever you choose, it doesn't matter who you choose, whoever aligns to your energy. It's amazing how you can change your vibration in just the shortest time.
I've got a playlist of a night time. I meditate every night, and I have done for almost 40 years. And that playlist has got Deepak's, it's got Abraham books, it's got Louise's evening, and then the morning meditation, and it's got Wayne meditations, but from I am to he's got some wonderful work, but that goes on every night in my bedroom. My husband bathed in it at the same time as I am, and I'm really very lucky that he's okay with that, because I think that sometimes that's a thing that is identified, that you know, we might be on the course, but others that are close to us aren't. And I'm so blessed that he just embraces it all as well. So, yeah.
And I've been lucky too, Wendy. My husband and my family have come along with you know, it was always a joke in the house that, oh, yeah, she's down there doing a witchy poo shit, you know, because it just has been around. It's who I am. I can't, as I said, I can't imagine myself being anybody else. But I love the fact that it's all so simple. Our work is so simple.
Yeah. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Yes.
It's not easy because he gets in the way and says, you know what, I haven't got time to sit here and listen to this. I haven't got time to read that. I haven't got time. I haven't got money for those cards. It's the one that will stop that, but it is. And most of it you can, you know, you certainly to grab yourself a coach, and everybody needs a coach. I don't care who they are or where they are in their life. A coach, a mentor, whatever you have aligned to you. And often you might need 3 or 4 at the same time. So, I mean, I've had a life coach as well as a business coach. You know, there's those different coaches that you bring in for different aspects of your life as well, and not being afraid to do that. But doing the work yourself, that is where you're going to get, you know, a coach can give you everything, and we will do, and I'll tell you that when I'm coaching with you. But you have to go home and do that work yourself. You have to put that effort in, which, as I say, is simple, and Wendy says, it can be very difficult if you're not prepared to actually put that, because as we know, you keep doing the same stuff and the same stuff will keep returning over and over and over. And there's times where you've just got to break yourself outside of that space. Absolutely. And one of the greatest things that I can give as a bit of advice is that I haven't got the bucks to buy you pieces. You know, you can.
I love that.
Why you can't do it, or why you didn't do it, or what. But I don't hit me with that, because that's just another excuse. And if you really want something enough, if you want, you know, I want what you've got. Well, if you want that, then it comes with daily practice. And daily practice is that, you know, I give to me first in the mornings, my practices, and I live my life by the principles, by the philosophies that I've learned. And I live by my true, authentic nature. And that is something that I would really encourage everyone to look at exploring and doing exactly that. It's a bit of, you know, there's a whole, towards the end of last year, I decided I was going to get another little piece of paper to say that I could do something. And so I became in mindfulness and meditation to the certain facility. And it's educating people down to being that mindfulness every single day, even right down to when you're washing the dishes. Be mindful when you're washing the dishes, you know.
Eating. I've done mindfulness as well, and I've also a meditation teacher too, Wendy, and it's about that, you know, putting that piece of fruit in your mouth and rolling it around and actually stopping and appreciating every single thing in life.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And not letting our mind be tomorrow when we need to be here today.
Yes. Which is very appropriate with that card, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's what's eroded a lot of our relationships, is that we're always in tomorrow or in yesterday, but we're just not here today.
No, totally get it. Oh my goodness, we have been chatting for nearly an hour, so I just want to say thank you so much. It has absolutely been awesome having you on the couch. I've just loved it. Thank you. It's just flowed. I mean, you and I can chat for hours anyway.
Absolutely.
So that's absolutely not a problem. So for that, I'm going to give you a card, because I think, you know, thank you for being on my couch. Here's a card.
Oh, thank you. I would love a card.
Make necessary sacrifices. So I'm being told for that at the moment, as much as you do all your morning rituals, they're saying that there's still parts throughout the day that you're actually not taking for you. And they're saying you need to make sure that you continue to, so throughout the day, it's like your cup is getting empty, and you need to make sure straight away you're filling it back up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that resonates with you or not, but they're certainly reminding you right now that
absolutely those days
to keep that cup full, Wendy, to stop, you know, don't let it get empty, regardless of what part of the day it is. Oh, and that card jumped out. So card number 2 is, and this is even aligning to you as well, Wendy, nurture yourself first, as is exactly what you were talking about before. You must, you know, everybody out there, you have to nurture yourself first. And now is a perfect opportunity for you to do that. Not everybody is able to have, you know, the downtime that some of us are enjoying. But if you aren't, and life is busier because you're home with the children and you're trying to work and you've got the husband home as well and some other family members, and life feels so goddamn busy, you feel worse off than what you were. This is more a reason right now that you need to put yourself first and fill your cup. Because if you don't fill your cup, you're trying to feed everybody else off the dregs. And everybody knows that the dregs aren't useful for anyone. It's the overflow that allows joy to come into your life. And the third card for the day is address your addictions. What a great opportunity. Get out and exercise if you need to, or get out and walk. I certainly can relate to that myself. A bit of a gunner I am. I'm a gunner. So that's actually reminding us, if you've got things that you want to do and you might be sitting around on the couch too long, or today for me, I was going to sit out in the sun and just journal, and that didn't happen. So I will journal after this before my next client. So it's about making sure that whatever addictions they are, that you're looking at them and seeing how much they're serving you, and what do you need to release or change in your thought patterns to actually allow yourself to move past those and bring something new in. Because once you let that go, you're allowing space for something new to come in. Alexa says, thank you, ladies. Grateful to have been able to join for this today. And Alexa, we're so grateful that you were able to join us today.
Yes, definitely.
And Wendy, I hate letting you go because it's just been so great chatting, but we must come to an end. People will get sick of watching us. They won't probably get sick of watching us, but they probably have other things they need to do. So thank you so very, very much. But just lastly, before I let you go, if people want to get in contact with you, how do they connect with you?
Look, all social media. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook. But they can jump over to my website, wendyparker.com.au. And, they can schedule a call. It has access to my diary there, so they're able to jump in and book a time if they want to have a chat. And that's a discovery call to see whether or not we're aligned, to see whether or not it's something that's for them, it's not for them. What maybe I might be able to say to them, I think that I'm the one for you right now, but here's some ideas, people that I'll say, go and check these people out. So in all the usual places on Facebook.
And I've tagged you in this, so I've tagged you in all this, so they'll be able to connect on that link, and they'll be able to go off to your Facebook page and connect with you anyway. So
the Shear Relief. Shear Relief, because that's what I want to bring to everyone.
Thank you so much, Wendy. It has absolutely been a pleasure. I'm so grateful you were here on the couch today. It really has. We may have had some hiccups, but you and I, nothing stops us. So here we are, living our dream, living our life, living our best life, and making sure that the journey we're on, we can share with others and take everybody with ourselves. So thank you very much.
Great opportunity. Thank you.
My pleasure. Everybody, thank you, and have a wonderful evening. Take care, be kind, and be the best version of you. You are enough. Bye for now. Much